excellence. Our mission to ignite young minds through knowledge and its application, to build competency, to encourage research and innovation. Based on our mission, our research innovation cell and IQAC chosen very good topic. Research article writing and intellectual property rights, its management. Our resource person will explain in detail. I request all the participants concentrate on the topic and make the program a grand success. Finally, I thank Research Cell and IQAC for helping the students by organizing several programs to achieve overall development to fulfill our vision and mission. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite our director, AVPG Center, Dr. Gopi Krishna Garu, to share a few words.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm audible, please. Am I audible properly?
Little low, sir.
Yeah, now is
Yes,
it
sir.
okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Our respected Secretary, Professor G. Prakash Reddy Garu, our correspondent, Dr. K. Gautami Garu, and our principal, Dr. C.H. Rajalingam Garu, Vice Principal, Dr. P. Padma Garu, and IQAC Coordinator, Vidyulata Garu, and the Research and Innovate Cell Convener, Dr. Prasad Garu, and the English Department of English, and my dear colleagues, and my dear students. And the present today's expert, Dr. Devi Premnath Garu, sorry, and Dr. Umesh today Amani Garu. I welcome to this webinar, national webinar. I'm happy to participate in this national webinar on research article writing and intellectual property rights, its management. As a part of our academic activities, we organize regularly conferences, workshops, seminars, and FDPs, and etc. The college started the PG Center in the year 1991, started with MBA and MC, and subsequently added 8 more courses: Maths, Physics, Chemistry, Biotechnologies, Computer Science, and the Telugu and MCOM. After this university, the students chooses our college because of its academic activities and other aspects, results, and other things. This webinar is definitely useful for our staff and students. For writing a research article needs properly choosing a problem, then needs experimental results with repeatability or data analysis, discussion, literature of survey, etc. Then after writing this article, again we have to choose the best article to publish with good impact factor, which is a measure of the frequency with which average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. It is used to measure the competence or rank of a journal. So this is very, very important while choosing the journal. So even after writing a very good article also, we have to check the impact factor, then we have to publish. Definitely these 2 days, the benefits by attending this webinar. I thank the subject experts for accepting our invitation to deliver the lectures. Once again, I congratulate the organizers, Research and Innovation Cell and Department of English for organizing this particular webinar. Thank you very for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request our convener of Research Cell, Dr. Prasad Garu, Head Department of Physics, to share a few words.
Good afternoon to all of you. Today's guest, Professor Prakash Reddy Garu, Secretary, AV College, and today's guest, Dr. Gautami Madam, Correspondent, AV College, and today's chief guest and expert, subject expert, Dr. Devi Premnath Garu, and the Principal, AV College, Dr. Rajalingam Garu, and Director, AV College PG Center, Dr. S. Gopi Krishna Garu, and Vice Principal, AV College, Dr. Padma Madam, and IQAC coordinator, Mrs. Vijulata madam, for all of you, all the participants from different colleges throughout the from all over the India in different states also participated. I welcome you all to this 2-day webinar on behalf of Research and Innovation Cell and AV College of Arts and Science and Commerce. I welcome you all to this 2-day webinar on research paper writing and IPR's technology management. Research and Innovation Cell at AV College started to foster the culture of innovations among students and to support teaching faculty for their research in their respective field of interest. And the main motive to organize this webinar is to provide a platform to all the research or faculty members of our college and those who are interested outside the college, that expose all the faculty members to the latest resources and tools and techniques available at the present day for research paper writing, which is very, very essential and first and foremost in any research, whether it is a science or arts or any subject. This is the main motive, and even IPR and technology management is also very important for going into the details of any innovations and all those things. That's why we are organizing these webinars. Even in the near future also, we are planning to organize 1 or 2. Once again, I welcome all the participants to this 2-day webinar and interactively participate and try to make it success. Definitely. Okay, positively, please make it success. I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now welcome our speaker of day 1, Dr. Devi Premnath ma'am, who would share her knowledge in techniques and trends in research paper writing. I request Dr. Rajendra to introduce Dr. Devi Premnath Garu.
Good evening, one and all. I, Dr. Rajendra Reddy Pondra, deem it my privilege to introduce a speaker for the session, Dr. Devi Premnath. Dr. Devi Premnath is currently working as an associate professor in Johnson's School of Business, Autonomous Institutions, Karmatham-Patti, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. She has done her MBA, MPhil, and PhD. She has 17 years experience in the field of academics. Her research and teaching interest including marketing, branding, and systems. A university rank holder at undergraduate and postgraduate level. She has also qualified the UGC SLET examination in the year 2005. She has, to her credit, a few articles in international and national journals of repute. She is an editor of some of the literary assignments, as well as speaker who has delivered lectures in various management institutions. She has also reviewed research paper like Beyond the Last Blue Mountain by R.M. Lala and also IIM, Indian Institute of Management, a story, the DNA of an institution by Praful Anubai, Gnandeep National Journal. Some of the takeaways from this session would be utility of emerging techniques available in the research and digital tools and research software used for the thesis writing, various classifications of journals and publication process, do's and don'ts of writing academic papers, process of structuring a research article and target the right journal. It is an honor to have you with us, ma'am. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being with us this evening. I now hand over the mic to you, madam. Over to you. Thank you for giving this great opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, kindly start the session, please.
Thank you. Am I audible and am I visible, ma'am?
You're
Yes,
audible,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. And am I visible also? Is it okay? Can I start the session?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And I'm in fact quite excited to meet a lot of people from our faculty fraternity in Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana. And it's my first experience speaking to a college in in Telangana. So quite excited to be with you. And at this outset, let me thank and let me really put forward my gratitude to the principal, Dr. Rajalingam, director, Dr. S. Gopi Krishna, and the vice principal, Dr. P. Padma, the convener of the Research and Innovation Cell, Dr. Prasad, as well as the IQAC coordinator, Ms. M. Vidyulata, and the organizing committee, which is headed by Dr. Rajendra Reddy. Thank you very much for having me invited as the resource person for this particular session on research techniques and trends on research article writing. And I also I'd like to welcome as well the moderator as well as my companion for the day. As I know, she is Ms. K. Rashita Reddy for the session. And it is actually a wonderful, platform where we can actually talk and brainstorm, interact, and we can have a give and take process right here, because I understand that faculty members from different fraternity, I mean, from different fields are coming into the session. Okay, thank you very much. With that, I'll slowly go on to the session. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes.
I think,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I'll just go with the presentation. Okay, right. And let us make it as an interactive session, because it's quite a very technical session. And let's make it quite interactive, because there are faculty members quite experienced out there who would have written large number of papers, research papers. So I can also have some takeaway back home. And let's do that way. Okay, so this particular session is on techniques and trends in research paper writing. And it's actually a particular topic which has been really pondered on for years and years, and every now and then we are trying to make sure that this research paper writing is actually modified and fine-tuned, and we are trying to bring the standards of research paper writing in India in comparison with research paper writing in some other countries like UK or US, or even China has also come out to be really, writing a lot of research papers of late, say in the past 15 years. So all these agencies out there, UGC or AICT, and all these international councils and organizations are always trying to make sure that the papers which are coming out from the Indian academic arena should be really very progressive, as well as it has to be having very high quality. So let's actually move on to the roadmap of this particular session. And if you want, you are very welcome to interrupt me during the session. If you want to put in any points or you want to clarify something, please do that. So this is the roadmap. So the roadmap is, we are now climbing a big hill right now. And so what we're going to do is that these are the things which we are going to discuss in this particular session. So the first thing is, do we really need to do a research? That is something which all the professors and all the students out there keep on asking. What are the challenges that we face as a teaching faculty or as an academician? What is the obstacle that comes before us when we are actually thinking of writing a research article? And the next one is the different types of research articles which are available, some myths which are associated with it. Then the structure, how do you structure a research article writing, which I think most of the faculty members out there will be knowing. Probably the students can get a lot of cue from that. And then plagiarism, some sources which will be helpful for you when you're writing the paper. And what are the new trends? Some softwares which will be very helpful for you for simplifying your writing business. And then finally, how do you select a good publisher to publish your paper? So this is actually the structure of today's talk. And so we'll just actually move on to the next slide. Now, am I audible, sir?
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, madam. We cannot see your PPT, ma'am.
Is it so? 1 second.
Yes, you need to share it.
Oh yeah, 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Right. So is my screen visible now? Yeah.
It is visible now. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
okay. So I just started off with the techniques and trends, and then this is the roadmap. Okay. Right. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, sir. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Please, if you find any technical difficulties, please do tell me, because I can't see, because when I will be looking at the screen. Okay. So can I continue? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll just. Is the PowerPoint available on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. Then so we are just. Now, do we really need to do research? So this is one of the basic questions that we all think about, because we are professors and we need to teach the students and we need to get a good feedback. Is that all? That is something which we often think about. And do we really need to do a research? Because I am a wonderful professor. Professor A is wonderful. Professor B is wonderful. Children are very happy in the class. So now the whole spectrum of academics is changing, and they say that if you need to be a very proficient professor, you need to be a good researcher as well. And as people say that when you do research, you keep on learning, and a professor become proficient only when we keep on learning and reading. So that is the main idea why all the agencies out there, like the UGC, AICT, and all these accreditation centers, all these people are very much particular that we professors have to do research. So research is mandatory or compulsory for us to make our lecture really content driven. Now there are a lot of HODs out there, and this is one thing which I usually tell in all the sessions when I interact with the faculty members. This is a call for the HODs out there. Now, how do you give the papers to the professors? Like you are, how do you keep on switching the papers, or do you give the same paper to a professor so that he can handle the same paper for 2 to 3 years? Do you do that? All the head of the departments out there, do you do like that?
No, rotation. We will rotate.
It's a rotation. Rotation, like one particular paper is given to a faculty this semester, the same paper will be given to another faculty member next semester.
Yes.
Is it so? Yeah. So this is something that is happening in most of the colleges. Might be the idea is to give a 360-degree perspective of the subject or the faculty understudy. But for research purpose, this is a call and this is a suggestion, like for all the HODs, try to give the same paper say in a semester you are giving marketing management to Professor A, let this professor handle the same paper for at least like 3 years. In the first semester, he will be handling for 3 years the same paper. Now, why is this so? Is that when you give the same paper to the professor will have a good grab on the subject. He'll start reading more on the subject. He will delve more into the subject, rather than it will not be a superficial, like just a preparation and then lecturing to the students. So you get a chance to really read more and more and into that paper, and naturally you become proficient. Now, what is our responsibility as professors when our HODs give the same paper, and it's actually a bonanza for us. So at that time, what we have to do is that we should not be complacent. We should not feel that, okay, fine, I got the same paper this semester, so I needn't prepare. No, that's wrong. So we have to do a little more reading. Now, when you get the same paper for 3 times in a row, what happens is that you will also start reading more. You will have a perspective of the subject which you are handling. Now, what happens here is that you can also take up small research. For example, I understand that there is an MBA department. So if a professor is taking a paper, say in brand management, you can do a small research, a very, very tiny, puny research, which involves 30 samples. Okay, a questionnaire. It can be your students. You can involve your students as well. And then you can do a small research, and you can get the help of the statisticians, or you can get the help of the software to do the small statistics, and you can publish the paper in the in a particular in a journal. So this is something that we can do. And what happens is that when we do small tiny research in certain aspects of the subject that we are handling, we become quite proficient. Okay, and our the kind of lecture that we give in the classrooms will be quite driven by content which will be beyond the frontiers of the textbook. We won't be just talking about what is inside the textbook. We will be talking more about the textbook. So that is something that you can make use of. This is a technique that you can actually put in, and you can just try to see how it will help you to start doing or start writing a research paper. Okay, so then the next thing is that, of course, research is becoming very important, because India understands that research can actually uplift the country itself from to a different dimensions. Like if you look into the country's research involvement, the country which is actually involved in research is Israel. And Israel is a very small country, and the involvement in research has actually enabled the country to develop a large, by bounds and leaps. Now you would have read that they don't even wear masks. Corona is totally out of it, and they have vaccinated the whole population and all those things in research. It can be attributed to research. Another country which I would like to really take your attention is South Korea. Now, South Korea is one country where, more than 4.8% of the country's budget is devoted to research. So, the country which had a GDP which was very comparable with any small African countries or Asian countries is now a highly technological-driven country. And a country which is booming like anything. They have got a 7.3% GDP and booming on. I'm not talking about, the post-corona thing, but generally. All this thing has happened only because of the involvement of the country in research. And the standing testimony, as everybody knows, is Samsung. If Samsung can move from a noodle manufacturing company to a highly technology company, really having the power as well as to, have a face-to-face encounter with Apple, which is one of the biggest tech company in the world. That's actually the result of research. So in India, all the agencies are trying to bring about or giving a lot of importance to research and development so that we will also develop just like countries like, you know, South Korea, Israel, and Sweden and Japan and all that. So the affiliations and accreditation processes, when these people come to our college, they are very, very strict. They really want to know, when the inspection committee come to our department or come to the college, they will really want to know that how much devoted our organization is into research. Now, you have a wonderful research and innovation center there. And so how many PhDs the college has produced, how many articles the professors have written, how many articles have been, cited, how many articles has been published in Scopus Index journals and Web of Sciences and, UGC Care journals. So these are some of the, this is one of the parameter which will be taken care of or looked into by this accreditation as well as the affiliation committees when they come to your college. So that also makes it mandatory for professors like us to do research. Okay, and then for getting funds and sponsorships from agencies like, Indian Institute of Science and Statistics or UGC or AICT, or even from international forums, if you need to get sponsorship funds from AICT or anything like that, you need to publish research papers. So, and then it is actually increasing the weightage of your resume. Now, the most important thing as far as the research is concerned, I think Dr. S. Gopi Krishna was also talking about that, about the author citation score, which has become very, very important nowadays. It has become a benchmark for judging professors like us. All the premier institutions are now looking into what is the citation score that we have when we are actually penning articles in various journals. So what is the citation score? For example, one of the professors here, let me take, Madam Vidyulata is doing a research in a particular area. Okay, and I happens to do a research in the same area in which Madam is doing. So she has already published papers. So what I can do is that I can, I might have read her paper. I would have got some kind of, insights from her paper. So I may cite her paper in my paper, or I may refer her paper in my paper. So here, Madam Vidyulata gets one citation when I cite her paper in my publication. So here, this is what we need. Others will have to cite our work in their paper. They have to refer our work in their paper. So this is what is known as citation, and we need to increase the citation score. Not only we have to increase the number of articles we publish in the journals, but we need to increase the citation score. Now, how do we do this? How do we increase the citation score? Now it's an era of social media marketing. I always used to talk about this in all the platforms. So, and not only that, marketing is my cup of tea. And so you have to market your work at the end of the day. If you're publishing an article, make sure that you put it in the social media and you have a proper networking with LinkedIn or any professional group, or you can have Facebook, you can make use of Facebook, even Instagram. Instagram, I can see my friends, telling that, well, hey, I have published a paper, this is the paper, and they'll put up the paper there or the link or something like that. So when you do like this, your friends in the fraternity, your faculty friends in the fraternity get to know that, hey, madam or sir has actually published a paper in a particular journal, and this paper is something related to my research, so I can also take some nuances or some idea from that, and probably he may land up citing your paper in his. So this is one way by which you can increase the citation score, and it can also done through a symbiotic way. For example, I have an arrangement with my friend. We both are doing research in the same area. Okay, so I say that, okay, Madam X, I have cited your paper in mine, so you can cite my paper. You have a basic understanding between two friends or two authors or two research. So you can cite her paper in yours and you can cite his paper. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, madam.
Yeah, please continue. Right?
Yeah. So, so this can continue, like this can continue, and you can continue this particular way by which you can increase your citations. And suppose you have written a paper in 2020 and about artificial intelligence or something, like you have written on some topic, and you're doing a research in 2024, which is an extension of the research which you have done in 2020. You would have published some paper in 2020. Now in 2024, in your paper, you can write or you can put the reference of your earlier paper that you would have published in 2020. So your own paper, you are citing it again in your current paper. That is also possible. That is also allowed. So these are some of the ways by which we can increase the citation score. And these are some of the, the classic reasons that we need to really do research, not only to be a good professor in the class, but also to really, to really increase our citation score, and help our organization getting affiliation and accreditation. I am actually I'll give you one example from business. One is the example of Volkswagen. Volkswagen is a company which is now the #1 company in the automotive sector all over the world. And one basic reason you can say is that because of the extensive research this company is doing. It has got almost some square kilometers of land in a place called Wolfsburg. And this particular place is actually devoted for what they call as a group research. Group research they call, because Volkswagen has got, it is the company which has got the largest number of brands under it, from Audi to Skoda to Bugatti to Ducati to Lamborghini to Porsche. All these brands belong to Volkswagen, and Volkswagen is ever trying to improve the the connect between the driver and the vehicle to be the safest vehicle in the world, and to be environmental friendly, and also to have autonomous vehicle. Again, research was this is the first part of the research where the company really did a lot of research and climbed up the pinnacle, and it is the biggest company, the largest, and the company in the world when it comes to automobiles. But at the same time, a small research which was done by some professors in Virginia University was able to throw light on the fraudulent activities of Volkswagen. About, I think all the professors, especially the MBA professors, will be knowing about the environmental issues and the problems of TDI diesel engines. They were not clean. They were claiming something which they were not actually delivering it in the vehicle. So research can be, helpful in all the way for environmental protection, for improving your business, for actually improving the GDP to the next high level. Okay, now what are the challenges? We professors, we have got a lot of challenges. One thing is that it's the case everywhere. I am busy with a lot of non-academic work in the college, so I cannot put myself or devote myself into academics. I cannot read. I hear some professors telling that, oh my God, it has been ages since I read a book. Okay, and I'm so busy with the non-academic work. It's something which we cannot escape. Some of us are into administration, some of us are, as the IQAC coordinators, some of us are conveners, some of us are in the exam duty. We have got all affiliation, accreditation, file work, all these things going on. So all this academic work is something which actually challenges, okay, when it comes in the path of research. And most of us, okay, come on, fine, we don't know how to start a topic. Okay, how do you go about topic? How do you start a topic? I don't know. Okay, this is another big problem. And I'm not good in statistics. Some, especially like commerce and management faculty members out there, I think you may be agreeing with me. Like some of us, not all, please, some of us, we are not that good in statistics. Oh my God, how can I finish the whole process? Okay. Then next is Others, barring the language, the English department, the other department like science, engineering, and management and commerce, we have a problem with English. We don't have good fluency in English. We don't have good command over language sometimes, okay? But we may be excellent professors, but this writing part may not be that good. And finally, we have this, we need promotions, incentives, performance appraisal, all these things are there in the back. So these are all the challenges which I would like to present. This is always there. Now, when it comes to the non-academic work, again, it's a suggestion. I hope the HODs will not get wild with me. You try to have, we can have a schedule kind of. Say, if you have a group of, if your team is having, you have a 10-member team, 5 people are having 40% academic work and 60% non-academic work this semester. Make it as a cycle, and then next 5 should have 40% non-academic and 60% academic time in the next semester. So you can have a cycle so that all the professors, it becomes a balance where the professors will be devoting their time for non-academic and academic in equal level. So you can have that kind of a schedule, and that is something which we actually work it out in JSB, which works on very well, and we can also look into the academic work a lot of time can be actually set aside for academic work, and we won't have this the complaint of like we are always involved in non-academic work, and so we are not getting a chance to actually do academic work or read the book or all those things. And I don't know how to start a topic, that I will talk about it later, and all these things we will talk about softwares and all those things which will help us in English and all those things later. Okay, so it's just all my faculty friends out there. It's just a starting trouble, nothing much. Everything is high up there in our minds. And if you're really inclined to write a research paper and to do some kind of research, we will do it. And we are professors at the end of the day. And we are stubborn of the lot, isn't it, when it comes to students? And students always used to say, okay, so we will do, and just a starting trouble. Okay, now what is, how do you get a start? Now, as when Madam Vidulata was interacting with me, she was telling that we have got a potpourri of people there. We have got faculty members from English and, the management as well as from science. So I made something like this. Okay, if you want to have a start with something, don't worry. If you're doing a research, you can actually start writing a paper as a research extension. Now, the first part which I've taken is, let me talk about the research paper writing for English professors, or the people who are involved or inclined in languages. It's not necessary that always you have to start a full-fledged research article. You can actually start with a book review. That's more than enough. It's a research paper. You can publish it in journals, or you can publish it in magazines. You can blog it, or you can even write in newspapers, etc. So that's something, these are the different fashion, the trends of research paper writing. You can blog, you can write an article in magazines or newspapers or etc. And it can be an extension of your research work. For example, one particular topic which always fascinated me in English is the magical realism. Okay, and I used to grab any kind of books which was related to magical realism. Any faculty members in English doing research on the subject magical realism, or is it outdated now? Yeah? Yes? Any members, faculty members in English department doing research in, yeah?
No, ma'am, nobody as of now.
Okay, okay, fine. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, but then we do know about it, yeah.
Yeah, so I hope it's a wonderful topic, isn't it, madam? Like when we talk about it takes you to a different realm, I would like to say. So when you're talking about, say, this is a small example. When you're talking about magical realism, you may be actually grabbing books which are related to that particular concept of magical realism. Some of the classic books in this case are Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children, then Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni's Mistress of Spices. I think they even made a movie out of it, and The God of Small Things, Arundhati Roy. And if you're suppose you're doing a research like this, you are reading books, am I right? You are actually trying to, either you might be trying to find out the pattern of magical realism, which has been, portrayed by Salman Rushdie in comparison with Chitra Banerjee or with Arundhati Roy. So you may be grabbing books after books, and you may be reading. In this process, you can write a book review about a book which you like the most. So book review is very, very simple. Within 4 and 5, para, you complete a book review. That's great. So you would have, when you're doing your research, side by side, you will be writing your article. So this is one way to start, one way of actually overcoming our challenge. So suppose, like, how do you write a book review? It's very, very simple. Now, I have just taken 2 books over here. This is one book which in the previous talk also I was talking about this. When you this is about Alokesh Bhattacharya. He has written a book review in Business Today. Now, when you write a book review, is the screen visible? The new screen, is it visible? As I move from one screen to another, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you can just put the picture of the book, and then you write the title, the author, the publisher, the pages, as well as the price. So you start with that, and then you can actually, you can write, say, if you're taking the example of, say, this one, Michelle Obama's The Becoming. I think this is one book which I really love reading. It talks about how she has, grown big from a very small grassroots level to become the FLOTUS, that is the First Lady of United States. So you just have the picture over there, write write the name of the article, the title of the book, then the author, the publisher, the price. Then you can actually write about what the book is actually talking about. What are the pictures? I mean, what are the chapters which the book is actually talking about, from her childhood to her college days, how she meets Obama, and what are the problems, the challenges. Like that, you can actually talk about you can start a couple of sentences which are describing about the book. Okay, and then you can highlight what you particularly like, about the book. Like, you can talk about how the chapters are really delving into the matter, how beautifully she is actually narrating her story. It's not at all boring. It's talking about women empowerment. It's showing the glimpse of a Black lady in a different perspective. You can write whatever you like about the book. And then what you can do is that you can also be critical about certain aspects of the book, like you didn't like. For example, you can write about at some point of time, we feel that she has got a lot of favoritism, and she's very vocal about racism, which need not be. Like, you can be critical about, just like we are critical about, a dress or a sari, or the border was good, but the color is nice, or it doesn't go with a particular, we are like that, isn't it? Or it can be when as critical as when we are actually reviewing a movie or anything like that. You can actually talk about the critical aspects which you don't like about the book, and then as a professor you can conclude how the book is helpful for our students, and then you can actually give an overall impact about overall review. For example, you can see this book review has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs, and it is talking about the things which he likes the most about IIMA and the which he doesn't like much. And finally, he writes about the review, the total review. The book is a true reflection of this long stint, but it misses out the student experience. So you can write the overall review. And if you are a fan, you can also even write rate the book out of 10. Sometimes people will look at the book review. If you have rated the book 7 out of 10, that's a good rating for the book, and people may land up buying that book, or they may land up reading the book. So this is one way by which, if you are an English professor or a language professor, or if you are in arts, you can actually start off writing an article when you're doing a research by an extension work. Now it's an, it's an era of a lot of publications and in internet. So we can actually blog into, you can actually blog a lot of things in your personal blog page, or you can create a blog page through Wrike or anything like that. And then you can write an article inside that, or you can also write blogs in other people, other famous blog, pages, and they have to accept your work. Now, this is one blog, which is again on the Mistress of Spices. It's about, they're talking about how Chitra Divakaruni is actually bringing in the beauty of magical realism into it. And it's actually a blog. You can see this is a blog, and where they publish the book reviews. You can also do that. Now, this is accepted nowadays, and you can even put in your resume that you are a blogger. And a blogger, and if students are listening to me, my dear students, if you are a blogger and if you are blogging on, related to engineering, science, management, or anything, companies are actually looking for you. People, if you are a blogger, they are very much interested if you are a blogger. When placement companies come to Janssen's, we see that some of the students are bloggers. They like them. They like to interact with these students, and there are better chances of getting placed. So, okay, fine. Leaving the blogs alone, now let's talk about, you can even write articles in, the magazines as well as the newspapers. That is also possible. For example, look at this. This is actually in Economic Times, in lifestyle column. Okay, again, you are talking about the Midnight Children, about Salman Rushdie, and he's talking about Midnight Children 30 years on. So you can also write your perspective about a book that you have read, which was a part of your, research, and you can land up writing an article in Economic Times as well. This is also taken up as a research publication. So these are the different ways by which you can write, and when you are doing a research. Now, when it comes to research article, conceptual article, and empirical writing, this is for the MBA and the commerce faculty members out there, don't always feel that the research means something where we give questionnaires, collect the questionnaires, and finally we actually get the table, everything, we get the data, we classify into tables, and then finally we interpret it and findings. This is a usual paper that we write in MBA and commerce. So now I'm switching over to that particular area. It's not necessary that always our paper are empirical, not necessary. We can also write conceptual papers as well. You can see that if you look into this papers, there is neither statistics nor numbers and nothing, but it's actually a paper which we have written on a particular concept. I think majority of the faculty members would have done that. But conceptual paper writing is really beautiful because it's something like it's an idea. Again, this happens when you're handling the same paper for a long time and you read a lot, and finally you arrive in a position where you have your own perspective about certain things, and you feel that A, B, C, and D can be linked together, and it becomes a concept. And let me tell you, all the faculty members out there, conceptual papers are really worth it. And people, journals, if your idea is really unique and novel, they will really publish it. One particular thing about conceptual article is that it has to be, if you have an idea, when you're writing the article, you should also represent it in the form of diagram or pictures, because you should be able to sketch it out so that it is easy for the people out there to know that what you're actually talking about. Now, conceptual article, it's actually, happens when idea comes inside our mind, or it can actually stem out through a brainstorming session with your students, or when you have a forum. I think research forums are wonderful arenas which you can have in a research and innovation cell, where the faculty members can come together and talk about a new subject or a trend which is happening. So that might also give some insights for conceptual article writing. Now, this is the case study which I'm talking about. Again, for science people, you will be actually doing a lot of experimental and explorative study. So case study will be very, very helpful for you. And sometimes some small organizations say, since we are a business school, we get this opportunity. Some small scale industries will come up to us with certain problems, and they will require us to solve that particular problem. So in that case, what happens is that we actually find out the problem from those organizations. We actually sit with them, we visit their organization, and when we try to find out the problem, we do a lot of math and lot of calculations and statistics, and we give them a lot of, not necessarily always it has to be, you know, statistical and all that. It can be even interesting HR cases. If I permit time, I will talk about it later. And then it can also happen that way. So case studies, once you give the recommendations to these small companies who have asked help from you, and if it is really very, very successful, then what happens is that you have all the right to write about the case in any particular journal. And journals out there, even the Scopus Index and Web of Sciences journals, they are really crazy if you give them case studies. And this is a small case which we did it, and it was a department between the marketing department and the operation department, which made use of the Six Sigma concept and Pareto analysis and all those things. And the recommendations were given to a small company, very, very small scale company, and the sales improved. And sales improved. And once you see a success rate in that, you have all the right to publish your case study in a journal, which is actually a unique work, and case study publishing gives you a lot of score, and your citations will also improve. So these are different ways in which you can actually start off. Not necessary that always you have to start off with an empirical article. No, that's not necessary. Even for MBA faculty members and MBA professors, you can also start off with a book review. No problem at all. That way also you can start your publications. Okay, now we will go on to the main crux of this whole, you know, that is, how do you structure a research paper? Now, the first and the foremost thing when it comes to a research paper is that, say, you have got many sections, and almost 9 sections. And writing a research paper is quite different from writing a project report or writing, you know, your PhD thesis or anything like that. So when you write a research paper, start with an abstract. That's very, very essential. So you can have an abstract which is, don't have long abstract. Abstract can be, say, something, say 150 words or so, and make a very, very small abstract. Okay, then what you can do is that in the abstract, what should you write? You have to write like, what are you trying to tell through the paper? What are you attempting through the paper? Okay, for example, I'll just give an example, and then this is a paper which is on neuromarketing sciences on digital marketing model. Okay, this is through brainstorming and faculty forums. Somehow this, you know, this dimag ki batti jal gaya, or we all thought that it's very important that we have to, there were 3 concepts. There were 3 islands, so we thought that if you connect these 3 islands, the neuromarketing sciences, the digital platforms, and the customer engagement models, we can improve the sales on digital platforms. This was an idea which actually got shoot after Corona and social distancing happened. So we had 3 concepts here. So we were actually trying to relate how the neuromarketing sciences, okay, can be used in order to improve the customer engagement on digital marketing platforms, like on websites and all those things, and how the brand loyalty can be improved. So in that case, you write the abstract, like what you're trying to attempting to tell, and why it is very important in the present day, because the paper is having so and so, you know, relevance in the present scenario, And that is what you're going to write. Don't write too much about the paper, just 150 words. Usually scopers say that something less than 250 words. But even, let me tell you, less than 150 is more than enough. So 150, after that you have to include the keywords. Now the keywords are the important words that might appear in the abstract as well as in the length and breadth of the paper, where the whole article is actually revolving around. So why you are asked to write the keywords is that, again, to increase your citation score. What do we do nowadays? We just, if we have any doubts, we just type in the search box of Google. The Google, through search engine optimization, will give us the search result pages. And so we can actually find out an article which is related to what we are researching on. And then we read the article. If we find it quite insight-provoking, we may land up referring the article in our paper. So the same thing happens here, all the professors out there. So these keywords, how does Google fetch the paper? It is based on these keywords. So if somebody is writing an art, like in the search engine, you're writing about Forrester's 5i or digital marketing models or neurological multipliers, there are chances that your paper is also drawn into the pages, the SRP, the search result pages, either in the 1 or the 2 or the 3, any of the pages. Okay, like, and there are chances that your article would be read and it will be cited. So it's very important that you write you put in the keywords. Then what is the next thing? Next is the introduction. The introduction should not span more than 1 or 2 pages. And in the introduction, you are actually talking about the research problem. Please, you have to be very clear about what the research problem is. I'm going to do research on this because nowadays, for example, customers don't like being in a website per se. This is, again, I'm taking from the lead from my from the example which I was citing. The customers don't like being in a website for a long time. So how do I increase the time, the customer engagement in my website? So that is a research problem here. So I have to make sure that the customers are very happy. And so how do I make them happy? When so I can make them happy by the application of neurosciences. So you can write all these things in the introduction. You are introducing the 3 pillars of the paper, that is neurosciences, as well as the digital marketing model, customer engagement. All these things you are actually introducing in the paper. So when you're introducing all these things, you make sure that you're numbering it properly. And the 1 is introduction, then it becomes 1.1 becomes your next one. Okay, your subpoints 1.2, it all comes under the introduction. So please number it properly. Sometimes your paper will be excellent, but your numbering protocols you may not be following, and the journals may land up rejecting your paper. So please don't do that. Please be very careful when you're numbering. And you can state your objectives, split your introduction to a few paragraphs and number it accordingly, and don't make your introduction long. Don't go more than 1 to 2 pages, please. The next one is the literature review, which is one of the things which we always make a mistake. There are a large number of styles here, like the APA styles, as well as many styles, the MLA styles, the APA styles, AMA styles, the Chicago referencing, or whatever you can, whichever you feel comfortable, and according to the nature of your research, you have to use it. Now, the review of literature is, first write the name of the author, then the year of the publication, and a superscript above. Now, the name should be, the last name should be written first, and then the first name. And if you have got 2 authors, put a comma in between, and then write the name. Then you can write about what the author is stating in the article. Now, let me tell you, mind you, whenever you are writing the review of literature, make sure that these articles are relevant to the topic in which you are researching or in which you are writing. Please don't include irrelevant review of literature, which usually happens in a PhD thesis. You may be researching on A, but you may be including review of literature about C or D or P or Z. So don't do that. It has to be relevant to the paper which you are actually writing. If it is an article, I think you can include, say, maximum 10. Okay, scopers say that 30 is fine, but I don't think so. We need to include 30. I'll say that 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 or 6 to less than 10 will do, because don't overcrowd it, and journals don't like lending too many pages for our research articles, so make it very small. If you have got large number of authors, use the word et al, because the first author's name and then et al, and then you can actually, I think these are all known to the faculty members. I'm actually talking, addressing to the students. So you can just put the year of the publication in bracket and a superscript. What is the use of the superscript? Down there in the reference, you can see that the superscript will talk about the article, the journal, the title of the article, as well as the nowadays the website address, sometimes the page number, everything, all the the biodata or the jadagam that we say will be actually inside in the literature. So the superscript actually takes you there. 4, if you refer in the reference column 4, you will get the details. So you can either chronologically order it in the like 2007, 2008, 2009 or 2010, or it can be 2021, 20, 19, 18. Either in the ascending or descending order, that's not at all a problem. It's up to you. Then you can write after the literature review, the next important thing is actually the research methodology. The research methodology is if you are writing a paper, for example, I'm so sorry, if you are writing a PhD thesis or something like that, so the methodology will be usually your chapter 3, include the objectives of the study there. And my personal opinion is that don't have too many objectives, because you may even lose like what is happening onto you really lose touch of your research. Have 3 or 4 objectives. It has to be crisp and clear. That's it. So in the research methodology, you can include, this is for project report and PhD theses. You can actually include your objectives there, then data collection, whether you use questionnaire or schedule, the secondary data sources, then what is the result of your pre-testing or pilot testing, and of course, if you are doing an MBA project or something like that, you will have a sample design. Have to be really careful about the type of sample design you're using, whether you're going to use a stratified or whether you are going to use a multi-stage cluster sampling or something like that. And then you can actually, you can write about the analysis tools that you are using, whether it is a chi-square test or a Z-test or an ANOVA or whatever it is. So for that, I think you can even get the help of people. But in the case of an article, generally, when we are talking about articles as such, we can't be so elaborate like that. We just have to be in short. We need to just talk about what is the methodology. That's more than enough. So it can just take, the objective. You will be taking one objective, then a sample design. Then you can actually write about the analysis. Small paragraphs will do. This is in an article. Okay. And then you write, you can actually include all the tables and all the statistical analysis. Not necessary that you have to write interpretations after each table in an article writing. In article writing, you can actually club it up and write it together at the end. But in the case of a PhD thesis or some theses like some work or a report or anything like that, I will really advise you to write the interpretations soon after the table, because interpretations should go with the tables. Don't write interpretations after charts. Charts are colorful, they are self-explanatory, they don't need interpretations. Please include interpretations after the table. And if you have a table, it is very important that you write the source, whether your source is the primary data, the questionnaire, or whether it is the secondary sources that the table has been taken from some book or something like that. So that's very, very important when you are writing the research methodology. The objective, the sampling strategy, then the type of research there that you are into, whether it is exploratory, experimental, or descriptive. Usually commerce and management, it will be descriptive. Experimental and exploratory may be for engineering graduates. What are the analytical tools? Again, when you select the analytical tools, Please make sure that your analytical tools is actually in sync with the question. If you are actually trying to rank or the which is the best automobile company in the world, then you have to use a Garrett ranking. If you're trying to find out the effect of vaccinations according to the ages or gender, go for t-test or z-test. Or if you're trying to isolate the factors which are leading to corona, then you can go for factor analysis. So you have to be very, very, I'm not going into the statistics because that's not my cup of tea. Generally, you have to be careful a little bit when you are actually selecting the statistical tools for your paper, for your analysis. So after analysis, you have to write the findings and the discussions. Please let me tell you one important thing, which we all forget, is that when you are writing the analysis and the discussions, make sure that after the analysis and the discussions, as I told you, please have the interpretations up to table. This is what I'm trying to show you here. And the findings that you write should be in connection with the objectives. It should be like objective is different and findings are different. You are trying to find out answers for the objectives. So the findings and discussions should be objective oriented. Okay, the first objective is this. This is my findings. This is what I found out. And you can even write like in the discussion how your finding is different from a previous work which has been done in 2018 or 2015 or 2016. And you can even write in the discussion like how your study is going to open new frontiers or opportunities for a particular business or particular scientific discovery or something like that. So in that way also, you have to please make sure that it is objective oriented. Don't write just like A, B, C, D findings that this is. No, that is not the way. It has to be objective oriented. And you can also suggest how different you are. Usually in article, we don't write recommendations, but recommendations are usually coming up in case of PhD theses or something like that. We have got a list of suggestions and recommendations because we have spent almost 4 to 5 years doing all those things. But usually in articles, we don't give up our recommendations. We are very, very small, in a very small way, we actually write all the articles, and then we directly go with the conclusion. After the findings and discussions, we go with the conclusions. So not necessary that you really have to, this is a paper where the interpretations, after interpretations, findings, you can directly go with the conclusions. I hope my whatever I'm showing, the switching from one screen to other, you are able to see it. Am I right?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Then finally, okay, hip hip hooray, we come to the end, and that's the conclusion. Conclusion need not be numbered, but it has to be really beautifully written. It actually talks about the conclusion should be complete and clear, and it should be really, thought-provoking, because when I read the conclusion, I should try to get some kind of the grand finale effect should be there. So you have to really word your conclusion well. Conclusion, don't make it 2 to 3 pages. Sorry, not necessary. Make it very, very small. A small paragraph is more than enough. Not necessary to number it. And then especially in case of, mathematics, engineering, science, MBA, MCA, all these people will have a lot of appendix and reference material that you can include in the appendix. Or sometimes in this case, we had a diagram which we put it in the annexure. Some journals, this is actually a journal, they took this and they were really thankful enough to put the annexures as well. This was actually a cause effect diagram through which we were trying to trying to tell the people out there, the readers out there, about the conversions of the sales and all that. So sometimes even a diagram can also be in the appendix. Now, this is the basic structure of the paper. So the structure of the paper will revolve around revolve around all these things, that the abstract, the keyword, the introduction, literature review, research methodology, analysis. If it is a conceptual paper, as I am talking, you won't have research methodology. Directly from literature review, you may be talking about the body. But if it is an empirical paper where you have got where you collect the data through questionnaire, then you will have a research methodology. Then you have analysis, findings and discussions, recommendations, conclusions, and appendix. So this is the basic structure of a paper. Now, these are some of the sources. Okay, and I have sent this particular, the PPTs to your coordinators. Probably you can get it from them. I'll just show you one of this. These are some of the sources that you can actually make use of. For sciences, beautiful literature articles are there. Now I understand that because of Corona, you are not able to go to the libraries and browse topic. So you have got umpty number of journals and articles, everything here. So that's actually one source. I have already sent it to the organizer, so you can get these. You may be knowing that, but you can get the information from them. This is another one which can be used for the languages. The one which I showed was for sciences. This is for the languages library, where you can make use of. Lot of articles are there, and you can just go into and then read, and all these things are there. Okay, then you have got the NDL, which I know everybody will be knowing. Then the Shodh Ganga InflubNet, majority you may be already using it. It's actually one wonderful site which can be used especially when you're doing PhD. So it's a beautiful website, a portal which has got more than 3 lakh theses as on April to 2021, and this is, you can just see full text theses are there, synopsis, and you have got all this university contributions. You can get, this is all to solve the starting problem, and if you have the number, you can just type the number and go for citations. Help can also be there. So this is from run by UGC. And for students also, if you really have problem like starting, you don't know in which topic you need to do, then you can actually go with certain websites. This is one website where I found out very helpful for the students, where they can actually select the research topics for the students. Topics on medicine is there, health, education, environment, entertainment, sport, just to give a start for you, so that you can actually read it and get an idea. So these are some of the sources. Then the next is the trends in writing. The trends in writing is, as I was telling you, we have all got a problem of English. English is not our mother tongue. So we have a big problem writing English. When I write English, I make grammatical errors. I do all kinds of spelling mistakes. So this is something which is irritating me. So this is the usual challenge that I have. Nowadays, we have got a lot of, softwares which help us to write good English papers. You don't have to be bothered about, aram se you can write a paper, whatever English you have. Okay, don't worry. Our English is good English. So whatever English you have, and then what you can do is that you can actually download these softwares. Okay. These are some of the softwares, excellent softwares in my word, Pro Writing Aids, then Grammarly, White Smoke, and all that. You can actually download any one of them for that matter. And then you can actually, after writing your article in whatever English we write, you can just feed the article in the software. Okay. And the software will read line by line, word by word, and it will correct all the spelling and grammatical errors, and it will even give suggestions and phrases. So that's the essay editing services, proofreading, grammar check, then manual brochure and proofreading. All these things are done by these softwares. So we are actually, nowadays research writing is not that tough. You don't have to go to, after writing an article where, I remember after writing my PhD thesis, I was not actually confident at all. And I went to one English teacher, one friend of mine, and then I asked her to read my the whole thesis, She just practically looked at me, oh my God, you're making me read your thesis, and then asked her to correct it, the whole thing, if there is any grammatical error or spelling mistake. English teachers are English teachers. They can immediately spot out any grammatical errors. So now we don't have to, there is no need to trouble them. We have got softwares which you can actually download and use it. And nowadays, in this present, way of writing, should I put it in the chat box? I'll put that in the chat box, okay, so that you can also have a look at it. Where is the chat box? Can I? Okay, right? Did you get it? Yeah. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, I'll just move on. An informal touch can be written to academic writing style. Okay, now why people, most of the journals, they like when we are writing, articles in an informal style. That doesn't mean that you have to use you, then that, no, that is not the way. Quite an informal touch, like it can be like you're writing your experiences, you are writing a little more, you're calling the people out there for an action to be taken. Such kind of informality can be put in the modern writing. Okay, when you're writing an article in journals as well. So why informal touch is allowed nowadays by majority of the Scopus indexed and Web of Sciences journals are that we are into blogging and Twitter and all that. And so this style automatically comes in when we write. Moreover, they have a feeling, the academic community has a feeling that when there is informality in our writing, it actually opens creativity. And a real unique and creative paper is actually an paper which is having a little bit of informal touch here and there. And quality has to be given a lot of importance. And you should also incorporate certain stats when you're writing. Even if it is a conceptual paper, you can actually refer to certain stats, and you can give heed to the style of writing. So this is again another article which I find that it will be helpful for you, and I will also put it in the chat for writing if you hate writing. So it gives you a lot of ideas about writing when you don't like writing. So it can be done that way. Now this is so whenever, sometimes even in the conceptual kind of an article writing, you can actually include a little bit of statistics to make sure that what you're writing has got facts and it is very genuine and it is true. Just like when somebody in the group discussion, I always used to say, comes out with statistics and figures and all those things, we tend to listen to them. We feel that he is talking something, really great. So that's the way you can actually incorporate a little bit of statistics in the way you are writing. So the modern trends are make use of softwares for all the grammatical and phrasing, rephrasing and all that. Add in a little bit of informal touch. Bring in quality. It has to be unique. No cut, copy, paste business. Have a little bit of statistics and give heed to your writing. Now, this is the usual way where we all get confused. Usually, for languages, it is MLA style of writing. For MBA and for science and commerce, and even for science and commerce and management sciences, you can go for an APA style of writing. APA style of writing is 1 inch on all sides, have double spacing, okay, between the headings. Then indentation, that is hanging indentation, we say 0.5 from the start as you write the paragraph. Then have the page number. Majority of us forget to write the page number. And then the font can be Times New Roman or Arial or Georgia. And if you're writing blogs, you can go for Roboto or Open Sans. Roboto is much used for blogging or when you're writing articles in the digital media, because nowadays most of the things happens on digital media. Now, if we all have a problem when we are doing a PhD research, like how do we write the references? Now, we do the PhD and writing references is actually headache. So in PhD, just go, if you're having, that is the bibliography, Start with the books, okay, and then go with the journals. This style which I have used here is actually the hanging indentation. You can either go for an APA style or a Chicago style of writing, no problem at all. Then after books, go for journals. After you write the journal references, then you go for this one, newspaper articles and all the websites, all those things, and the reports. So in this way, you can actually consolidate the references. Okay, so here you can make use of any style, APA, or for languages it is MLA. So MLA style, and for you, even if it is humanities or for history, you can go for Chicago style of writing is also allowed. Now again, I have got a problem. I don't know how to go about writing this huge thing. First name, second name, then the title, then, oh my God, it's so confusing. If it is a journal, okay, how do you go about it? Nowadays, again, you have got a lot of softwares to help you out. Just download any of the softwares, EndNote or Zotero or Mendeley. I think I like Zotero very much. It's a software you can just download. And what you have to just do is you will be reading a lot of articles. And these are the articles which you are going to put in the references. Now, once you download Zotero, import a PDF. So, for example, any PDF into Zotero. Now, what this beautiful software will do is, it has a lot of fields. It will grab all the fields from your article. The first author, the second author, everything it will classify. The issue, whatever you need to write. You just have to select which mode, style of citation you need. It will be on the, just go for a YouTube, tutor for Zotero. It will help you out because this class is not enough. I'm already running out of time. And you can actually download a YouTube tutor for Zotero, and then you just take a PDF, put it inside the Zotero. Zotero will take out all the things from that, and then you just have to select the style APA, Chicago, or MLA. Boom, that's it. You get it, cut, copy, paste it. The software will do the work for you. You don't have to break your brains at all. That is not at all needed. So everything is becoming, ready-made nowadays for research article writing. You don't have to think whether I have to write the issues later or the pages later, or should I write the year first or the title first, and all those, last name, first name, all confusions will be there. No, you can just follow this. Mendeley, Zotero, or EndNote. Zotero is good. You have got tutorials on Zotero, and it will be very, very helpful for PhD scholars out there who are doing PhDs. And finally, and 2 more slides to go, it is plagiarism, which I'm going to talk about. Plagiarism is something which is really becoming a huge problem since the advent of internet, and this cut, copy, paste business is going on. And we get angry when our students give us an article which is cut, copy, paste, and it is completely, a lot of plagiarism is there. So especially in article writing, we cannot do that, because plagiarism is like, you have got a webinar next tomorrow about intellectual property rights. Yes, article writing and research paper works are all, it's belong to the intellectual property right. So you cannot steal somebody else's intellectual property. So you have to be very careful. But sometimes innocently, we may be writing something. It may have some kind of, similarity with some other article there. In order to avoid all these confusions, you can go for a plagiarism software as well. Now, in the plagiarism software, you can see that, this is one software which I feel will be helpful for you. Okay, I'll just show it here. It's a plagiarism checker. Once you write an article, this is plagiarism.net. Okay. Now, once you write an article, you can just take a part of the article somewhere of the article. For example, let me take it out here. Okay, some part of the article here, and then you actually put it, just 1 minute. Okay. Now you just take a part of the article, and then this article is already published. So now you can just put it over here, paste your article here, and you can check for the duplication. Now what the software does is that it will, again, just like the Grammarly or the, the other software which I was talking about, it reads every letter, every word, every paragraph, and then it gives you a uniqueness code. If the uniqueness score is more than 65% to 75% or more, then you have all the chances of your article to be published, in accepted by the journals. So journals, what they're trying to look for is that they, as soon as you publish, see, in this case, it is 100% uniqueness. Okay, suppose I'll just type one, I'm taking this last line over here from this website. I'm cut, copy, pasting it here. I'll just try to take up a part of it because it takes a long time. And I'm just pasting it here. Okay, I have pasted the line from the very website, and I'm trying to check the duplication content. Now let me see what will happen. So now, at first when we gave the article, it became 100% unique. If it is a 100% uniqueness score, your article is really going to be selected by the journals. Okay, this is a small portion of the article which I have cut, copy, paste. If you want to feed in your entire article, you can either load directly from the drive, or you can choose the file from your desktop and you can put it inside it. Now, this is one way by which you can check for plagiarism. And then now you can see I cut, copy, pasted one particular line from the very website, and it shows that 93% only it has got uniqueness. And in pink, it says that this is having plagiarism. So when it is happening like this, what you can do is that either you rephrase the sentence, or you just take out the sentence, and then you can check the duplication. It becomes 100%. So this way you can actually check for plagiarism before you are sending your article to a journal. So that way also. And finally, to the last, the last slide, or the last thing which we were talking about, how to select a good publisher. We have reached there. Thanks for the patient listening. Selecting your publishers. Now we have written paper, and it is our hard work. Now it becomes imperative for us that we actually send it to journals which are really worth publishing. Don't think that like our paper has to be accepted. Don't have that thought. We have to select journals which are really good and where our papers can be worth publishing. Have that thought first. Okay, and this whole business out there, as far as the publishing and the journals, it's becoming a money marketing business. It's a dirty business out there. There are various journals which claim that they are Scopus index, but they are not, and they really take huge amount of publication fees from these poor research scholars, and we publish it paying say 8,000, 9,000, 15,000. Even there are Scopus index journals which are asking for 30,000 rupees, and you pay the money, publish it, and the next fine morning you understand that it is not a Scopus index. So there are a large number of fraudulent activities going on there. So the first and the most important thing that you have to be very careful when you are actually into is that you have to select before putting your article in a journal or a Scopus. Find out whether this journal is Scopus and whether it has got a sufficient good score. Okay, you can do it. You can just go to some of the websites and then you will get a lot of ideas about, okay, this is a Turkish Journal of Computer, International Journal of Electrical and Computer Psychology and Education, Journal of Quality Research. You will get an idea, and you can also find out the Scimago journal ranking and 2020. You will get only 2020 ranking now. 2021 ranking will not be out. It's too early, and you can actually publish the journal publish your article in this journals, okay, and you will get all the data. You can submit your paper directly through this, okay. It is indexed in Scopus, or I think most of us will be having some kind of a, what to say, we all have this Bible, we faculty members we have, where we know the different kind of journals, the print ESN, active or inactive, titles discontinued by Scopus. We can select it, and then we can find out whether the journal is really Scopus index as it claims, and then we can actually publish in that particular journal. Please let me tell you, it's not important that your article has to be accepted. That's important, of course, but more important is you actually finding out the best journal. Now, what we were talking here, it also has idea about Web of Sciences journals. If you look into, you have got all the Web of Sciences journals there. For science people, you can actually look into that, okay, and you can actually publish your papers in such wonderful journals. And if it is a little bit costly, some journals may ask for 12,000 to 15,000 to 8,000. In that case, team up, have one or two authors, you can share it and you can publish the article. The other simple way, the expensive way and a recognized way is our UGC, the UGC care list. So UGC care list is where the publication fees will not be too high. It will be quite, accommodative, say 1,000, 1,200, sometimes 800, like that. So this is actually a consortium for academic and research ethics, UGC care. UGC gives us information to the research scholars that we have got two lists, list group 1 and UGC care list group 2, and you can publish in any of the journals which is listed in the UGC care. What you have to do is you have to log in, and then you can actually go there. You can just, they are asking me to log in here. So if you have a, I don't know, it's still working. Let me try. Yeah, okay. And now you can actually select any of the, you give an ISSN number and you can check whether the ISSN number is indexed in Scopus or whether it is coming in UGC care. In this way also you can prevent yourself being fooled. And nowadays like a few 1-2 months back, I saw some journals claiming that they belong to UGC group A. There is no such thing like group A or group B. UGC has taken all this off. It is only group 1 and group 2. Group 1 consists of journals which are all indexed, like which are according to the UGC protocols, and group 2 has got globally indexed databases, which includes Scopus and Web of Sciences and everything. So that is group 2. Either group 1 or group 2 you can do. And care journals will not be that expensive as compared to Scopus. In this way also you can publish your beautiful articles. And sometimes in case of UGC care, they may sometimes give you a certification of publication also. That is also fine. And another thing, this is a very dynamic list. In 2018, the particular journal might be in UGC care. By 2020, it may not be in UGC care. You don't have to be bothered, because in 2020 when it was there, you just take out the proof and keep it with you, because that's more than enough. The list is quite dynamic, as I showed you in this. Like, they keep on changing the titles according to the quality. The titles move in and out of this corpus list. So that's we don't have to be much bothered about, oh my God, is it this list is so dynamic, will it be going to be next year or anything like that. When you are publishing, it has to be in either Scopus or Web of Sciences or UGC care. I think this is it, and keep in touch, and all the best for wonderful articles from your side, and keep on writing and keep on doing research, because research is something which keeps us going actually. And all the best for all the professors there, and thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Rashita. Ready?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for imparting a great deal of knowledge on writing journals and thesis and research papers. We'll go ahead and take some time for questions now. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions in chat box in your control panel, that is in Zoom link or YouTube channel. I request Ms. Jessica Joyce to take up the question and answer session, please.
Yes, thank you, Rishita ma'am. I'd like to start by saying that it was indeed an informative and an enlightening session. You've simplified the topic like research writing and helped us gain a lot of clarity and understanding. And I know many participants would agree to me on that. I would now like to open the session for questions. Please post your questions in the chat box and we'll read it out to Madam. Madam, I want to start by asking, two participants have asked this, Ms. Priyanka Sate and Ms. Sayeda Aisha, how to select a topic for research?
How to select a topic for research is, let me tell you one thing. You have to select a topic of research which is compatible to you. Okay, now that has to be like the topic in which you are interested. Don't select a topic which is quite contemporary and you want to do a very, a modern topic. No, please don't do like that, because what happens is that if you're doing a PhD research, in the halfway you will lose your interest. You will find it boring, and your PhD research, the years may move from 3 to 5, 5 to 8. So please don't do it. Try to select a topic which you are interested in and which is not very old. Okay, somewhere in between. And please, it can be, of course it should be related to the specialization that you are in. Okay, and then you can actually read a lot from the to get a start. Try to select some good journals, read the modern kind of topics which are often coming inside the journals. That will give you one idea. And please don't select the topics which you're not interested in. Please select the topics which you find it really enticing. I'll just give you a small example. When I was doing my PhD, we were a group of 4 or 5 people together, all my friends, the research colleagues. And all my research colleagues, they selected the topic within fatafat, within 1 week, 15 days, they selected the topic. And my guide was asking me, did you select the topic? I told that no, I didn't. Then after 1 month again, he asked me whether I selected the topic. Then I told that I didn't. And I think that he would have really lost the very hope that this lady is not going to complete the research in the next 5 or 8 years. But actually what happened was, I was really looking out for a topic which will take my attention and which will make my research alive for the next 3 years, which I'm going to do. And finally I landed up, I like a lot of advertisements, so I landed up doing my research on celebrity endorsements on FMCG. I loved celebrities, I loved reading about them, and I loved advertisements. So something which I knew that it will not make me bored. So you have to select a topic that way. And I could finish my research, PhD, the whole thing, the PhD, the scholar work within 3 years. And that I think it's because of the topic which I selected. Some other boring topic, I would have left it then and there. Because we all have that freak element in our mind. So we just leave it then and there. Okay, so please read journals. Contemporary journals will give you a lot of insights. Try surfing a lot of internet for topics. Then have research forums in your research innovation cell, which will give you a lot of ideas about topics. I think Dr. Prasad will be agreeing to in that. You can have research forums with professors. They can sit together, brainstorm, talk about the new things happening in their area. That will also give you a spark for, the topic selection. And always select the topic which you love. Did I answer the question?
I think you did, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the next question is by Dr. V. Kannan. He asks, can you please define hypothesis in research?
Hypothesis is actually an assumption, or the kind of something where we don't have, when we don't have something very concrete, we try to have a small abstract base of our own, and then we try to build our, theses or the research on that. So hypothesis is actually a chance or an assumption on which we actually base our whole researches. And that is what he wanted to know. And is he asking me whether hypothesis is very important for research?
No, madam, he just asked you to define it.
Yeah, that's it. It's actually an assumption or the abstract thing that on the basis of which we actually built up a research, because we don't have anything concrete. We are trying to find out something new. So we are trying to find through hypothesis, through assumption, or through chance, we are trying to find out something new and trying to prove that what I assumed is right or wrong. Through my research analysis, I'm trying to prove that, okay, what I thought is right or what I thought is wrong. So that is hypothesis, assumption. Okay, yeah, right.
Okay, ma'am, you spoke about selecting the right journal. Ms. R. Srilata asked, how do we know about the authenticity of journals in which we wish to publish our papers?
Authenticity of the?
Of the journals, ma'am.
Yeah. How do you understand the authenticity of the journals?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you have to go to this UGC CARE website and just check out just put in, as I already told you, just put in the ISSN number there and check whether the journal is included in the UGC CARE list. Okay, as I showed you a few minutes back. Or you can go to this website and check whether it is in the list. Or everybody, like nowadays, this particular list is available very much in the internet. It is actually a huge Bible where you have got all these corpus source titles and print ESN. Then is my screen available on visible on the? Is the Excel sheet visible on the screen, ma'am?
No, ma'am, it's
no,
not.
madam, we have to share it.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. I'll just do that. As I showed you, okay, fine. Now this is what. Yeah. Now it's available. Now you can actually find out all the information, for example, from this particular journal. Now, advances in meteorology, and then whether it is title is discontinued or not. If it is discontinued, it will show discontinued by Scopus. Agro-food industry high-tech, it's a journal, and all the ISSN, ESN is given here, and it is discontinued by the Scopus, so it is cancelled. So don't put, this is one way by which you can select the journal for publication. You can actually go through this. You can even know the citation score. It has given the citation score till 2019. So 2020 citation score yet to come. So this kind of, this is available very much inside the internet. So you can just check and then you can actually publish. Even it has got the conference proceedings also, you can have all the information, whether it is Scopus indexed, whether it is discontinued, continued, etc. Right? Okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Ma'am, Dr. Sudha has asked that, you spoke about websites like Grammarly and etc. So are there any choices of they copying the paper?
No, that I don't think so, because it's a completely software that you download in your computer, and I don't think so. As far as my knowledge is concerned, they won't have any chances of you are actually downloading the software in your computer and then you're feeding your feeding your paper inside the Grammarly, just like you are putting bread in the bread toaster. And then you get out they will actually show the spell checkers, etc. like that. I don't think so. As far as my knowledge is concerned, I think no, 99% they can't copy your paper.
Okay, Madam S. Kiran has asked, what are the basic suggestions you would give to a fresher who's just beginning to write?
Just beginning to write, In what, can you just narrow it down a little bit? In what areas? Generally for research writing?
Yes, ma'am, in research writing.
In research writing, one suggestion is for a fresher, is it a student or a PhD scholar?
That we are not aware of, ma'am. It's just his name only is mentioned here, so.
Okay, if it is a student, of course, I will encourage you to write. If you have done a project, a mini project or micro project or any kind of project in your MBA or MCA or in your PG, try to take one objective and start writing it. It is one simplest way by which you can start writing your research. Second thing is that when you are, another tip for writing a good paper will be to read a lot. And I think if it is a student, generally they won't prefer reading like professors. So you can read a lot. There are a large number of podcasts, not read, you can listen a lot. There are a large number of audibles and podcasts available, which actually flush in a lot of data and lot of information to you. So this will also help you to upgrade the quality of the paper. Okay, if you don't like reading much, I am asking you to listen to podcasts and audibles. And the general thing is that make it a teamwork so that not a single person is writing a paper. You can have 1 or 2 or 3 people together pouring in your ideas and then writing a beautiful paper. So teamwork, then reading a lot or listening a lot, and then extension work of your project report or mini project or a major project. One objective you can take and you can start a research. You can write a research article. So that can be one way by which you can just start on.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Sayeda Aisha
Professors can also encourage the students to, write papers, encourage them to write papers. They can also include the name of the students when they write the paper, and that will be really, encouraging for the students. You can involve a student in the research, and you can also put in their name so that the students will be really, happy to find their name in the paper, because they would have also be contributed to that.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Sayeda Aisha asked if you could suggest any journal that's apt for English literature paper publishing.
English literature paper publishing, I have got a few here. That's actually a free Scopus journal, which I actually found out recently. And one of my friends wanted the same. I'll just tell you, it is on, it is English Historical Review and the International Journal of Applied Systematic Studies, or it can be English in Education. It's by the Wiley publication. These are all free Scopus. You don't have to spend money. It's all good journals where you can actually put your papers in. I'll just read once again. It is English Historical Review, English in Education by Wiley Publications, or if you have got something like, or it can be an International Journal of Applied Systematic Study, that's free corpus. I don't think so, that's for languages. These two things are for English languages. It is free, you don't have to shell out your money at all.
Okay, ma'am. What are the major reasons for an article getting rejected, ma'am? This is by Dr. Rajender.
Yeah, one of the basic reason, one is plagiarism. If you don't have uniqueness count more than 65 or 75, then it will be rejected then and there. The first thing all the journals do, publishers do, is that take your journal, put it inside the plagiarism checker. Second thing is that when you don't follow the style, APA style, or when you don't follow MLA, or when you don't follow Chicago style citation at all. In one article, you find all the 3 kinds of citations. Then again, citations and references and styling, then it will be rejected. Then the other one is if you don't properly number it, page numbers are missing, then the tables are not structured properly, you don't have sources below the table. There are umpty number of reasons you can cite for an article to be rejected, or it can be the idea is very, very old and the same, or in Tamil we say archamave arakapod, archite irukku. That means the same old, the wine in the new bottle, the same. The concept is not new. It is a conceptual paper and you write a very old concept. All these are reasons why a paper has all the chances of getting rejected. When you don't indent it properly, when you don't have proper subheadings, all kinds of literature review, again, faulty literature reviews, all these reasons.
Okay. Madam Shiny asks, how to know whether journals seek money for publishing? Is there any code available?
No, there are free Scopus journals. Scopus journals. If you just type in the internet, you can get free Scopus journals. For example, if it is a management thing, the IIMB management review, all these International Journal of Business Studies and Applied Management, all these journals are free Scopus. When you are sending a article to a journal, they will tell that they have got publication fees. So that itself they will notify that they will have a publication fees, and the publication fees is so and so, and you have to pay this much once the article is accepted. So you will know that. Otherwise, if you really want to select free Scopus journals, you have to go to the internet, type it, and these are some of the journals. For example, for engineering, I think I have got one. I'll just see. I have got one place where I'll just send it to Dr. Rajender or Ms. Vidyalata. It's actually a YouTube or something like a link where you can find all the free journals. Okay, I'll just send the link there. So from there, you can find out what are the free Scopus journals available. For management, IIMB review, then International Journal of Business and Sciences and Applied Management are all free. Yeah.
Okay, madam. We've come to the end of the session. We're running out of time. I'm very sorry if we couldn't take your question. We've tried to cover the maximum. Rishita, madam, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. And thank you, Dr. Devi Premnath Garu, for patiently answering our viewer's question. I request Ms. Jessica Joyce to give vote of thanks, please.
Yes. Good afternoon to one and all. I, Jessica Joyce from the Department of English, deem it my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the two-day national webinar on research article writing and intellectual property rights organized by the AV College Research and Innovation Cell and the Department of English in association with the IQAC. On behalf of AV College of Arts, Science and Commerce, I'd like to thank our speaker for the day, Dr. Devi Premnath. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation at a very short notice and gracing us with your presence. From the very basic question that do we really need to do research to how can one market one's work, I think you have took us through the entire spectrum. You have also introduced us the many challenges and also spoke about how one can tackle the same. Thank you once again, ma'am, for sharing your subject expertise with us. It has been immensely beneficial for many of us. I'd also like to take this opportunity and thank the management of AV College, our secretary, Professor G. Prakash Reddy, correspondent, Dr. K. Gautami, for being a pillar of support to all of us. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the principal of AV College, Dr. C.H. Rajlingam, our PG director, Dr. S. Gopi Krishna, our vice principal UG, Dr. P. Padma, and the IQAC coordinator and head Department of English, Ms. M. Vidyalata, and Dr. T. Prasad, convener, Research and Innovation Cell. This event wouldn't have been possible without all the participants. Thank you for your active participation. We look forward to having you with us on the day 2 as well. Please fill the feedback form before leaving. The form has been will be posted in the chat box. Thank you very much. Please note that you will receive your e-certificate tomorrow after filling the feedback form for both the sessions. And yes, today and tomorrow we are going to post the feedback links. After filling these two links, only you will be receiving the e-certificate. Yes, please have a nice day.
Thank you, Ms. Rishita. One thing, please. Please, can you put in your feedback in the chat so that I can have a look at it? Your feedback counts a lot. And something in Telugu, Dhanyavadalu. Am I right, Ms. Rishita and Rajinder? Dhanyavadalu.
Yes.
It's a really fantastic to have a so thank you, Dr. Rajinder, Prasad, Dr. Prasad and Rishita, and Vidyalata ma'am for giving me an opportunity to interact with all the intelligence out there. Really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's nice meeting you. And thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate your presence and we will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for second session, that is on day 2 of webinar on IPR by Umesh Pudumani. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.